Now, speaking of technology, we have two major pieces of technology that are perhaps two of the most important ones in our personal lives. Now, of course, anything from gadgets be used in, to connect with one another, be it telecommunication gadgets, be it computers, to stuff that we have in the kitchen, appliances and all that. All these are technological gadgets and devices and appliances. But now let's focus on one, that's the phone. The phone. So, but the telephone, thanks to, it was invented, when was the telephone invented? I don't know. By Graham Bell, do you know? So we have the Bell Company now, thanks to Graham Bell maybe. Bell, and in Canada we have Bell and Rogers, two major ones. These are what companies? Only phone companies? They're not just phone companies. They are telecommunication companies. Is that correct? So that basically means their services include phone, which could be home or landline, or mobile phones, or cell phones. They also provide, these guys are service providers, right? Service providers. They also provide
cellular data?
Yeah, but that is basically what? Internet, right? So fast speed internet. They also provide internet. Now internet, in the good old days, how would people connect to the internet? There were dial-up modems, right? Dial-up modems that would work like phones. And I don't know if you ever remember any of those dial-up modems. And once you wanted to connect, there would come sound exactly, because you had to connect your computers to the phone line. Now we have electricity line and the phone line, right? So you had to plug in your computers to phone lines. And then you would hear exactly the tone that you would get when you pick up the phone. What is the tone? Beep. Then you will hear the dialing sound. And then you would hear the tone, like ding, ding, or sometimes that was exactly this annoying noise that we would hear before dialing up. And I'm talking about exactly the whereabouts of time George is talking about, 1996, 7, and so on and so forth. But then these were replaced, the dial-up modems were replaced by other systems. Now the modems today are different. There came a system, ADSL. And so other systems, you didn't need to actually, it was a different line. You didn't have to connect your computer to the phone line and make the phone line busy. So people would either use the phone or the internet some time ago. But right now things have changed, right? So what happens is, right now you call one of these companies for fast speed internet. They come to your house, and they would go install a modem. They give you a router, simply, for wireless. So we have wireless, usually wireless connection. Sometimes it's direct connection. So they give you this piece of wire and they connect you. And you can use wireless devices. Wireless devices. Such as what? Smartphones? Smartphones. Laptops. Yeah? iPads, tablets. What is a phablet? Phablets. It's a mix of phone and tablet. Phone, tablet, phablet. Like big phones that are like tablets. Like iPhone 6 Plus itself. Yeah, I remember there was a time the iPhone owners would just make fun of the Samsung owners, saying that the Samsung's too huge. You go like this, or put it in your pocket. If somebody has iPhone 6 Plus, I'd be happy to show that. It's like huge, right? And I guess iPhone 7 Plus would be like this. And yeah. So basically, these huge telecommunication companies. Now, in the U.S., we also have Ma Bell and Daddy Bell, something like that. We have the Bell companies there. Now, in Canada, also we have that. Thanks to the name Graham Bell, who actually invented the telephone, Graham Bell. We have this like Bell company, the Rogers. So we have major telecommunication companies. And so these major telecommunication companies are service providers that provide services such as the landline, which is the phone to use at home, which is a fixed landline. Also, cellular phones. We call them mobile phones, or where did I put mobile? Mobile phones. We call them cellular phones. Cellular phones. That's why we say cell phone. Right? Cell phones, cellular phones, and all the services attached. So when you get, for your home, you can get a landline, fixed landline. Also fast-speed internet through modem, wireless, so on and so forth. For your mobile, you also get internet, but that internet is called, here, we call it data. So you can have, for example, 2 gigabytes of data, 4 gigabytes of data, or if you're getting a lot, unlimited, right? You can have unlimited amounts of data. Unlimited. Also for your home. We'll talk about that a bit more, like upload, download, and those words. But basically, you look at telecommunication companies, they have services ranging from phones, home phones, landlines. Also, they provide television, the channels that give you packages, cable, right? So telecommunications, they're into broadband. You know what broadband is? Huh?
No.
You should know, Chris. Broadband is fast-speed internet with which you can do a lot of things. So you can download movies, you can upload movies. So broadband is a kind of fast-speed internet, which is it's not just a matter of the speed. It's a matter of, because when internet was first made and actually put into use, we didn't have broadband at that time. We didn't have this speed of transfer of data and this amount, the volume of transfer of data. Because, for example, when you get internet, you have 2 kinds of speeds: upload and download, right? You have upload and download. Now, you have the amount, for example, 200 gigabytes, 300 gigabytes, 80 gigabytes, 50 gigabytes, unlimited, and then you have a speed. So you have the volume or amount, and then you have the speed. For example, what is your upload speed? For example, my upload speed is 10 megabytes per second. Download speed is, I don't know what my download speed, I don't know if the upload speed is 10 megabytes per second, or around 60 megabytes per second. It's megabytes per second. So the entire volume I have is unlimited now because I'm uploading a lot of videos. But normally you would ask for 70 gigabytes per month, 80 gigabytes per month. So there's an amount of data. Every time you watch a video or you are looking at a website, data is being downloaded. Now, watching the website, not much data is downloaded, but if you watch a video, more data is downloaded. So that's why if you use your phone and you have, for example, 2 gigabytes, maybe watching an hour worth of YouTube videos would just use up all the 2 gigabytes of data that you have. An hour and a half, 2 hours. 2 hours, 3 hours would finish up all the 2 gigabytes. Sometimes I make the mistake, I forget to switch off the wireless. My cell phone is like I switch it off outside, not to use a lot of battery. But then when I go home and I have Wi-Fi and I'm watching my videos, I forget to switch on the Wi-Fi. So in 2 hours I lose my internet for the whole month. The data that I have, that is for roaming outside on the street for the whole month. So that's crazy. And you know, speaking of data that you get, we have 3G, 4G, which is the 4G is the 4th generation, which is a lot faster. 3G and 4G and things like that. I want to get into it, but first of all, the first thing I want to work on, let's start broadly with the general topic of telecommunication companies. So a telecommunication company as huge as Rogers or Bell provides different services: phones, internet, and cable for television. So cable TV. Cable TV. So these are the services. And of course, when it comes to phones, we want to talk about the phones a bit too. But when it comes to the cable television, because in the older days there were antennas, right? So they would come establish antenna, and these people still use antenna, right? Aerials. You know aerial or antenna? Yes, Chris? Mm-hmm. So what's aerial? And satellite TV, of course. So we talked about satellite TV. Let me put satellite TV, satellite technology. We have. But speaking of cable TV, cable TV. Or then we had aerials or antenna. So antenna, which were on top of the buildings, there were things like this, right? Do you remember these things?
Yeah.
They were on the roofs. So they would get the waves. These were the waves transmissions, and they would get. And then we would sit down and like watch TV, change channels. Right now, the talk is about smart TVs, like smartphones, smart televisions. And what do smart televisions do? Why are they smart? Do they take tests? Go to school? What do smart televisions do?
They have different way to cut the signal. They don't use the wire anymore.
I like the word signal you use. So we have signal. Yeah, so no signal. It's all about reception, right? These kind of, the TVs have to receive. Now we have reception, either on our phones, or when you, if you say you have good reception on your phone, which is it's like dip, 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 dip. So if it's up to here, it's not good reception. If it's all the way, it's good reception, right? So you would say, oh, this area I have no reception. And your phone, it shows that if you go in a mall, usually in this mall that we have here, it's terrible reception. I don't know about you guys, but I'm with Rogers. And you say, I am with Rogers. I am with Bell. I am with Fido. I am with Wind. I am with Chatter. So I would say I'm with Roger. Who are you with? I'm with Rogers. I'm with Rogers. Somebody would say I'm with Bell. I'm with Kudo. I'm with Fido. I'm with Wind. So on and so forth. Who are you with?
Fido.
Fido. Who are you with?
I'm with Fido.
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 Oh, what is it? We have all Fido?
Yeah.
I'm with Bell.
Bell. We have a Bell and so many Fidos here. Rogers, Bell, Fido, whatever. So,
Why? It's a smart television.
yeah. And then of course, many of them, they give you bundles. Yeah, like bundles and package deals. Package deals. If there's a package deal or a bundle, that means, for example, Rogers would tell you that you can have your TV, 190 channels, for example, and then your fast speed internet, this much, for example, 10 gigabytes, 50 gigabytes, and then 10 megabytes per second, whatever upload, this much download, whatever, plus landline for this much per month. It's a bundle deal, right? You have 3 services, both your home phone, which is your landline, a cell phone, and your cable, all the 3, that's a bundle. Putting all of them together, it's like a package, so it's a bundle. And of course, places such as Rogers or Bell or Fido, all of them, usually you should look for cheaper prices. Then cheaper prices appear in there when they have promotions, right? So they have promotions from time to time, promotions. And what else? So you should always look for other promotions. And September is a good month, for example, for promotions. There are many promotions, back to school promotions, they call it. People want, back to school, so there are better, cheaper deals and plans, right? So Christmas also, plans and deals. You should look for good plans.
They give you your cell phone.
And they give you these brochures or these flyers and all that. This is our $50 plan. This is our $60 plan. This is our $70 plan, so on and so forth. Here, you can have these phones with it. You can have. Now, the thing is, some countries people don't understand how it works in here, because in some countries you have to pay cash for the phone. You just buy the phone, and then you go find your whatever telecommunication company it is out there.
It's unlocked.
Yeah, it's basically usually in certain countries it's unlocked, right? You buy your phone actually unlocked and factory unlocked. You pay more, you buy it factory unlocked. But here, what happens is, usually you buy a plan.
Yeah.
So the plan would say that if, for example, iPhone 6 is iPhone 6, if the price is $700, so you can pay, for example, $320 for a 2-year plan, every month, for example, $60 with Fido. So you pay $320 down. That's the money that you pay down. Pay down means at first, upfront, in advance. So you pay this much down. So $320, you think, okay, paying $320 is easier than paying $700, right? So you pay $320 down, and every month for 2 years, you pay $60 to the company. Now, that money is for both the rest of the money of the phone, the balance of the money of the phone. So remember the word balance here. In accounting, in money, balance would mean the rest of the money. If the price of a phone is $700, and you're paying $320, what is the balance?
300.
280.
380, right?
380, yeah.
So the price of the phone is $700. You're paying $320,
Pay down.
so $380 would be the balance. Now, your phone, the problem is your phone is usually locked to that phone company. And it's interesting because in Canada, for example, if you buy a phone from Rogers, Rogers has its own frequencies. Yes, Rogers and Bell, you know what, certain companies have different frequencies. For example, sometimes you get a phone from Wind, that phone will no way work with Rogers because the frequency of the phone is the reception and all that. So there are a lot of things like this that you should consider when buying a phone. You should really, really, really think about it and talk to so many experts, people that you know, prior to buying a phone, making a purchase. But the way it works generally is like this. And the phones, for example, they would say, okay, you can get the iPhone for $300, $20, but for example, this other model, for example, a Motorola, you can get it for $60. This phone, you can get it for $0. It basically means, it doesn't mean that the phone is free. It means you will pay for the plan. When you're paying, for example, $40 per month, the phone price over 2 years, you're also paying the price of the phone. That's what it means. So when you buy a plan, you go to any of these outlets in the city and you want to buy a plan, what do you actually buy? There are some items, right? One is, well, in here, the way it works, who knows? What are the items on the list? What are the factors that you're paying for? The first function of the phone is making calls and receiving calls, right? So making and receiving calls, right? So when you make a call, that is, you want to call Javi, or you want to call me, you want to call somebody, is it an outgoing call or an incoming call? When I make a phone call,
Calling.
yeah, when I call you, for me it's an
Calling.
outgoing.
Outgoing.
So we have outgoing. When someone is calling me, that's incoming. So in some countries, it's unlimited. There's a company and it's unlimited access. So basically, you know that every month there's a big phone company. It charges you like electricity, like hydro. Depending on how much you actually smoke, whatever, you get charged. In some countries, you buy chips, that is charge cards for your phone. I want like $10, $20, right? 20 euros. And when it's over, it's over. You don't pay extra monthly. You just buy your phone and you buy a card and then there's a number, you put in the code. So, do you understand the difference? I don't know what your countries are like. I want to talk to you. So in Spain it's like this, right? So basically you buy a phone, $700, I pay for, no? Like this, like here. In some countries it's different. You buy a phone for $700. I have the phone. Now, what do? I go buy cards. There are charge cards. Like right now you can buy phone cards, that is long distance phone calls. We'll talk about long distance, short distance, those kinds of words as well. But you buy a long distance phone call, a phone card for $20. So there you can buy phone cards for $20, $50 and all that. And you can also charge your phone online. So whenever that charge is over, it's over. You have to charge again. It's not a monthly thing that every month you have to pay this. There's no contract. Right? So, speaking of contracts, every time you buy a plan or a deal, you're signing a contract, to sign a contract. When you sign a contract, you should always read the fine print. Always read the fine. What is the fine print, Chris?
The thing, the text is written very small, so that you normally overlook it.
When there's a contract, you sign a contract, usually there are some clauses for what happens if you don't do something. There's a penalty. Yeah? The penalty clauses. Penalty. There's a fine thing.
I never read this.
Yeah, you should. Always. You should always read the fine line. Because that might not be exactly what you want. And the bigger the contract, the pricier the contract. For example, if you're buying a home, Kay and I want to buy a home and some property in Michigan. We should look at the contracts. And lots of things we talked about at reading that reading part. What's the fine print? Okay, if the warranty, that this, that, what is it? What if I want to cancel my contract? After 1 year, it's a 2-year contract, I want to cancel after 2 years. After 1 year, after 6 months, I want to cancel and move on, just switch to another system provider, another company. What's the penalty? Is there a penalty? Is there a fine? How much? Do I want that kind of thing? Maybe another company that wouldn't ask for a penalty, wouldn't, penalize me. So, well, we have to consider all that stuff when we're signing contracts. But then again, when we buy, there's some different factors. Outgoing, incoming. They would say, for example, you have usually the outgoing, incoming 300 minutes. For example, outgoing calls. 200 minutes incoming calls. Then in Canada, for example, you need to know, is it provincial? Is it within the Toronto, for example, area? Like in Toronto, is it GTA? The Great Toronto Area? Or is it Canada-wide? That is all of Canada? International calling? All international calls? International calls. What else do we do with the phone? Texting?
Texting.
And internet, which is called data. So we text people. So you may say, look, I live in Toronto, nobody's calling me from Ottawa or elsewhere. Because if they call you, it's part of your phone. It's your phone bill, right? Because you also have to pay. You should both pay. If it's long distance, long distance. If your plan is not Canada-wide and somebody calls you from another, sometimes your plan is provincial. Sometimes it's local. So if it's provincial, I hope I spelled it right now. I think so. So if it's provincial, it means, does it include the province? The province of, what is the province we live in? Yeah. Ontario, huh? We'll live in the province of Ontario. Here, now. The province. Is it GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, which includes a lot of places? Or is it just the or is it the province, the entire Ontario? Or is it simply Canada-wide, that is all of Canada? So mine is, for example, Canada-wide and unlimited, because I don't know who's calling and I don't want Rogers to send me $500 bills. I remember my first month in Canada, Rogers sent me a $500 bill because somebody from somewhere was calling me, and I thought that was part of GTA, but that was not part of GTA, the Greater Toronto Area. So that was a horrible story. I ended up commuting with Rogers. I got my money back, and I got a $15 discount every month from Rogers, plus an apology. Because I wrote, look, I had a heart attack, and I have to pay my medical bills. Dude, $500, why? These things happen to the people who have no idea, including me. Because I thought that place, for example, Whitby, Oshawa, I thought that was part of the GTA. On the map it says it's part of the GTA. But according to Rogers' zoning policy, Whitby, Ottawa was not part of the GTA. And I told him on the point of purchase, when I purchased something, you should have told me. Because what I have in mind, I should not know what your zoning policy is. I should be able to go on a map and see where GTA is. And as long as I know, for example, Whitby, Oshawa is part of GTA, it's part of GTA. If your zoning policy is different from the general zoning policy that people actually have access to, you are the ones who should let me know. let the customer, the client know. And I started writing to so many people, and then they apologized and gave my money. I actually wrote it off because to write off the debt, to write off the debt. So they wrote off my debt. They changed my bill. They modified the bill to write off someone's debt. They canceled the debt. They modified the bill, changed the bill. And apologized. So these things are important, especially when you're signing a contract. The other stuff that you need to really take into consideration is sometimes you have evening calls. It says unlimited
Unlimited.
evening calls or night calls. Unlimited
On weekend.
weekends. Unlimited, it says a weekend. Unlimited night calls. So you should look at a plan that best fits you. But the problem with most of these other plans is usually at least once you get charged real bad, that then you will see that if you get like an all Canada wide and whatever, that would be exactly the same at the end of the year as getting any of the cheaper plans. So usually better phones, like better smartphones come with more expensive plans, right? So you can't get an iPhone with a $30 plan unless you own your phone. And you just go, okay, I just need a plan to make phone calls or data. Then you go to places like Wind and stuff. But if you go to Rogers and you want to be part of the plan, what happens is you should pay at least $60 for a smartphone like iPhone. For Fido, like $50 a month, that's the start of smartphones, the really smartphones. So basically, this is like when you're buying something and all of them, they have promotions and stuff. Now, we need to have some basic words about phones and making phone calls and all that. That's important. First of all, right now, the telephone is no longer just a telephone. And that's why smartphones are so popular, because they do a whole range of different things. But before looking at other things that a phone does, I would like to look at the phone function and what we do, some of the words and terminology that we use for phones and making phone calls. But just one more time, most of these telecommunication companies, not most of them, all of them, they have websites. And many of the services are provided through the website. So there's online billing, for example. Online billing, which is you get your bill online. You can, online payment. You pay online. You don't usually go to a bank and say, hey, look, I want to pay my phone bill, right? You just do everything online. It's online, online transactions. There are different systems of paying online. You can use your MasterCard, which is basically called credit cards. You have the credit card option. You can use your debit card. Not debit card, actually the bank account. You go to your own bank account. Imagine, for example, I'm with RBC. What I do is I go to the RBC, and to the payment section, I add one payee, and then the company will be added to my payment account, and it would. So I go to my RBC bank, online banking, I go to my account page, my account. There's a section that says add a payee. Payee is a person that I'm paying to. I add the payee. Payee. Because I pay, the person who gets the money is the payee.
Pay.
Did I add a payee?
Pay.
Payee. I add a payee. I'm the one who pays. Also my utility bills. How do I pay? Utility bills. Or the bills that basically for Rogers, for Bell. You have pre-authorized versus pre-authorized is one way of paying.
Can you say that those people are on your payroll
they're not on my payroll. So we are the teachers here. We're on the payroll of the company here. That means the company pays us. They're not on our payroll. So payroll is, for example, you would say this company has 60,000 people on its payroll. That's different. But they're not on my payroll. I would love it for, to be so rich that, people at Rogers would be on my payroll. And that is people at Rogers are on the payroll of the company. Yeah, but that's a good expression. If you're on someone's payroll, that means somebody's paying you. Yeah, but Rogers couldn't be on my payroll.
Okay.
I don't get paid by me. I just pay my dues, which is my yeah.
Okay, but
my bill.
so then can you say that Rogers is on your that you are on?
I'm not on Rogers' payroll. Rogers is not on my payroll.
Okay.
But the people working at Rogers are on Rogers' payroll.
Okay.
If there's a boss and somebody owns a business and 500 people work for me, and I say I have 500 people on my payroll, because I'm paying 500 people, and they work for me, work for my company, and I'm paying them.
Okay, and is there a smooth term that you can use when you're always monthly paying one specific company, like for example the phone company?
Well, we have monthly payments, but that you say I'm on the monthly whatever, I'm on the monthly roll or something. But we have monthly payments. I'm with Rogers, so it's pay monthly. Now the point is, what you can also pay pre-authorized. You know what pre-authorized is? Pre-authorized. Let me write it better. So pre-authorized form of payment. I think everyone knows, right? Saki, what is pre-authorized payment? How do you pay your phone? Like every month you go online and you put in your credit accounts? No? So how do you pay your phone bill?
When I bought my cell phone,
Mm-hmm. So you use your credit card? Automatically. So how does that happen? Because it's pre-authorized. So you have pre-authorized this. You have pre-authorized means allow, permit. You have already permitted that company to charge your credit card. Your credit company. Authorize means allow. Please authorize me to do something for you. Allow me, officially, let me, when I authorize. Look, if I say I'm not authorized to do something. I'm not authorized to do something. It means I don't have the authority to do something. And problems to authorize the spelling. Yeah. So this authorization is important. So to authorize someone to do something. He has the authority to do something. So if you authorize someone, if I authorize Rogers to take money out of my account automatically every month, that's a pre-authorized way of paying. That's an important way. Many people don't want to go through the hassle of paying every month, making payments, making monthly payments, and they don't have the time or energy they don't want to invest the time and energy to actually every month go over, okay, I'm paying $100 for Rogers, every month let's go pay that kind of money. So what they do is they go to the website of that company and they make the payments, they pre-authorize that company to take money out of their account. Now, you can pre-authorize a company to take money out of your direct bank account, which is like your checking account, or take it out of your credit card. Credit account. Not credit card, credit account. So, that's pre-authorized. If you rent an apartment, it's the same thing. You can pay every month by check. It could be personal check, bank draft, bank check, whatever. Or, depending on their policy. What kinds of payment they accept the payment method. Well, usually phone companies, they prefer this one, to pre-authorize them, to take money out of your account every month. It's good to pre-authorize them. For you, maybe it's easy. They have the authority, you give them the authority, the permission to take money out of your account. That's one way. The other way is by credit card. Every month you have to go, or every, depending on your agreement, on the contract, usually every month. You go to the website and then you say, okay, I'll view my bill, you view your bill, and then pay now, huh? You go, here's my bill, and it says pay now. And then you pay, click on the pay option, it takes you to a page where it gives you options. You want to use credit card, MasterCard, whatever, and then you should choose your credit card, and then your credit card, the account number, the PIN number, not the PIN number, the account number, the expiry date, and of course the number at the back of the card, which is a security number, and then you pin them in. And of course, that's where identity theft could come into play if you're hacked, or if you use an unsafe computer, insecure computer, because you're putting in your data, important data. So that's how you pay. But regardless of the online payment system and all that, when we are talking about phones, what are the words that we use? Now let's talk about phones a little bit.
Turn on.
Hmm?
Turn on.
So, speaking of the phones, with a phone call, what do? You do a call
Make.
to make a call. So you make a call. Or you get a call? No.
See.
Receive a call. So I need to make a call, sorry. I need to make a call. I should make a call. Yeah. So we have to call someone. What else can we say? No, I would say call me. What else can I say? I can say call me.
Call me, yeah.
What else can I say?
Give me a call.
Give me a call. What else can I say? Give me a ring. Give me a buzz. So just whatever you know, please give me a buzz. Give me a ring.
The bus is like noise.
Yeah, it's like give me a buzz means just call me. I give you a call, I give you a ring.
But
Ring me. You can also say ring me up. Ring
the
me.
bus is noise.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
Similar?
slang. Yes, it's slang. Give me a buzz. I'll give you a buzz. So I'll give you a buzz tonight. Call you. I'll buzz you. Some people say I'll buzz you. I'll ring you. Ring me.
Buzz.
Yeah, like you ring a bell. Buzz.
Buzz.
Give me a buzz. Give me a call. Give me a ring. Phone me. To phone someone.
Phone.
You phoned me, huh? To phone someone. Now, the kinds of calls we have, short distance, of course, long distance, a long distance call. Yeah? A long distance or a short distance call. Yeah? A long distance call, a short distance call. What's a collect call? A collect call. What's a collect call? You call the operator. I want to make a collect call to somebody.
Oh yeah.
The operator. Hi operator, I want to make a collect call to, and then you put in your. So collect calls are rather old, but still.
Who pay? You pay?
I don't pay. When I make a collect call, I want to make a collect call to Chris in Germany. So, Chris has a company. I'm calling for his company. Why should I pay? He should pay. So the point is, you call the operator. I want to make a collect call to this company. So you give the number, the operator verifies with that company, do you want to receive this call? Because you should pay. If you accept it, then put me through. So you say, I'd like to make a collect call. Operator, I'd like to make a collect call to this Chris. He left the country with $5 million of my money. All in that big bag. I'm sure he's nice enough to accept the call. To pay for the call. So short distance call, long distance call, collect call. What's a toll-free call? You can call toll-free number. Toll-free.
Toll-free?
Yeah, toll-free.
It's free.
It basically means you call, but you don't pay for it. We have toll-free numbers that are, the companies in the US, people from all over the world can call that company toll-free.
Toll-free.
Yeah,
Like without taxes?
without paying.
Yeah.
It's free, toll-free. Because you don't have to pay toll. You don't have to pay money. So we have long distance, short distance, collect calls, toll-free calls. What else? What other types of calls? So we have incoming calls, outgoing calls. We have weekend calls and stuff like that. We have unlimited calls, minutes in terms of what we talk about, the deals.
And what is when you call from public phone?
That's exactly what I was waiting for. So we have public phones, public telephones, there were phone booths before, phone booths, or kiosks. Do you remember these, have you ever seen any of those things, like these big things, structured? People, there was the phone here, and you would just go in, and then pick up the phone, and, yeah? And then, before, the original phones were like this, they would just do this, yeah, like something like that, and then, of course, then we had the dial phones, and then the dial phones were like this, yeah? Like there was a dial, you would put your finger here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, exactly. Yeah? Does anyone remember these phones? No? Of course there's a. So there were these. But before then it was funnier because there were phones like only this. And yeah, it's like another one like that. It's like. So when you look at the history of phones, that's interesting. And then of course these phones, they had dials, right?
Yeah.
Dial. These were dial phones. After that came these things, right? Yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then they came push button phones. After dial phones, we had push button phones. They came buttons. You would push buttons, right?
You missed the call and you put everything. You see
the answering machine.
Yeah, that's right.
When you have all these buttons, right? Now we have, of course, this button, and we have this button. What do we call this one? It's important in phone calls. If you want to talk to me, press 1. If you want to talk to my father, press 2. If you want to go to hell, press 3.
6.
If you want me to come to you and press 0. If you have nothing to say and call to say hello, press
is hashtag.
This is hashtag, that's in Twitter, okay? In phone calls, it's important because it tells you to press this button. It wouldn't say press hashtag. That was so funny, right? So this one would be what?
Hashtag press hashtag.
The star button. This one would be the star. This one would be the pound key. So if you ever hear a pound key, it doesn't mean pound the key. Or like you're not looking for the this kind of thing. Pound key. Like the British pound, like 5 pounds, 10 pounds, right? So this is the pound key. It's important to remember because many
Key.
you call places and say press the pound key. So this is the pound key. Sometimes you say press the star. So this is the star. It looks like an asterisk, but here's a star, and here would be the pound key. Other things you know. Press 1, 2, 3 to 0.
I call it and you don't.
Oh yeah, that's one we want to talk about. So,
Voicemail.
hmm?
Voicemail.
Yeah, we want to talk about that stuff right now. Let me see. Okay, so we have some time. Good. So, other services were like voicemail, and we forgot to talk about it. Thank you. And also, you wanted to call me what happens. So, the phone companies also provide there's data, there's internet, which is data on the phone. There's the incoming, outgoing. There's texting, but there's also voicemail these days. Voicemail, when you can tag and leave a voice message, right? To leave a voice message. And of course you'll leave a voice message, right? On the answering machine. So answering machine is different. It's not a service. Answering machines are installed on the phone, or you would buy a separate answering machine. So when there is a certain number of tone beeps, it would automatically switch to the answering machine. And what's your favorite answering machine line? That's like, and if you're not around, I'm not available for the moment. Please call later after the beep or what? There are so many crazy messages that, yeah, some of them just make you laugh. So some of them are really interesting. So, yeah. So speaking of what we do with the phone call, of course, you make a phone call and you receive a phone call. In the old days, or the phones that are like this, you pick up something, to pick up the what? What is this thing?
Hook.
Yeah? No, there was this thing. But what is this thing?
Minute.
So this was called the receiver. It was, hey, who's going to pick up the receiver? Pick up the receiver.
This is a pine.
You pick up the... You just pick up the receiver,
Pine.
and then you start talking. And then after you're finished talking, what do? To hang up. So, but right now, nobody's picking the receiver. If you say nobody's answering, so nobody's answering now, right? Nobody's answering. The phone it goes on, and nobody's answering.
How's this tone called?
Yeah.
The sound.
We have we have the free tone.
Free tone.
We have the busy or occupied tone.
Busy.
Yeah. So doop 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 doop.
Busy.
Now what is the free tone like? Doop. And if you're calling your girlfriend and you really miss her, well, it sounds longer. Doop. Yeah. And if you have your little black book, you'll hang up and call someone else. But anyways. So we have,
Pick up the receiver.
before you would pick up the receiver, you would dial the number. Right now what you do, you just push numbers on your phones. You press the numbers, right? Or you actually key in the numbers, and your smartphone, what you do is you just key, because there's a key,
key.
key in the numbers. And of course, if you go to a public phone in a booth, sometimes now it's cards with cards. There's a slot, so you have to insert or slot in your card and speak, right? The card number and things like that, and speak. Right? Right?
Right.
Right. So if the phone is calling and you want to answer it, what do you say? Before there was only one phone in the house, and especially teenagers wanted to get the phone. It's like, I'll get it. For the door phone, I'll get it. So it was like, I'll get it. And they would just trip over and just break their legs or something. Sprain ankles. And, I'll get it. So you pick up the receiver, you call someone. Sometimes you call somebody, and that person would put you on.
Hold.
Yeah, to put someone on hold. Put someone on hold. Some people don't like it. They say, I hate it when people put me on hold. I hate it when they put me on hold. No one likes to be put on hold, obviously. So I want to learn this structure. I hate it when they put me on hold, right? I hate it when anything. Please learn the structure and please use the structure. I hate it when I hate it when you call me George. I hate it when you look at me that way. I hate it when you roll around like that. I hate it when you leave the door open. I hate it when... Oh, I love it when... I love it when you call me Ray. I love it when you... Okay. So you can love it or hate it when... I hate it when they put me on hold. I hate to wait for hundreds of minutes and listen to that crappy music. And the promotion lines here, we have the latest package for you. and all these advertising companies and promotion companies calling you for, good evening, Mr. I'm calling on behalf of Rogers. Yeah. And on behalf of means I'm not Rogers. There's another companies, maybe in India, maybe in Minnesota, maybe in Alaska, maybe in Bermuda. They say, okay, they receive commission from Rogers. Every Rogers product they sell, or every Bell product they sell, they receive commission. So it's a bunch of people who come here and work in this room. They just pick up phones.
Call station is the name? Call station?
There's a call center, or
Yeah.
there's a call center. They just make phone calls. If they sell the products, they get paid some commissions. So, what else do? We make phone calls, receive phone calls. We hang up the phone. Don't hang up. She hung up on me, huh? She hung up on me. Don't hang up. Teenagers, all the time, hanging up the phone. Saki, you're not a teenager, but how often do you hang up the phone on somebody calling you? You don't hang up the phone when you get angry? Like the boy is saying something you don't like, you don't go like, and he goes like, ah. And he goes like, Saki. No, you know?
I don't do.
I hate it when people hang up, right? It's terrible.
You get angry.
You get really angry. Javi, what do you do when someone hangs up on you? It's over?
Yeah.
The friendship is
It's
over?
over now. I'm just calling again. Like,
You keep calling, keep calling.
It's a-
Why did you freaking hang up on me?